Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike.
Coming to you. No, I'm sorry.
Live.
No, not really recorded, kind of.
Yeah.
We are
that's
live
true.
when we do it.
We're live when we do it.
But
That's a good thing that we're live when we do it.
that's right.
Yeah.
Still above ground.
Yeah. So guess what I just did?
What did you do?
I don't know if I can admit this to my Chicago crowd.
Okay.
Although we have a lot of people around the world that listen to this, though. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
India being our number two market.
That still floors me to this day. India is our number 2 market. That's pretty crazy. But I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Today? Really?
Yeah, for the past couple days.
Okay.
Doing some work. Doing some work there for my day job. And we actually had the opportunity to go and have lunch at Lambeau Field.
Really?
And I've never done that before.
Wow.
And as a Bears fan, I'm like, yeah, you better splash me with some holy water first in the whole bit before I go in there.
I was going to say, you take a scalding shower.
But you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
What a cool freaking place that is. The Packers actually practice right there on the field at Lambeau Field.
Really?
They don't have their own separate practice facility or anything like that. They practice right there.
Wow.
And you hear all the factors. It's a very industrial town. You know, it's just, paper mills and meat packing plants and all that kinds of stuff around there. And the noon whistle blows. And everybody comes out of the buildings and stuff with their lunch bags, and they go over and they watch the Packers practice.
No kidding.
In the afternoon, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world. Well, all the bars and restaurants in Lambeau Field are open. All the shops are open. It becomes like this giant shopping mall and gathering place in Green Bay.
Wow. Well, the fans in Green Bay are owners of the team. They own shares.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So they own shares in the team. And I always heard there was a Chicago Bears bar across the street from Lambeau, but I've never had that confirmed.
I didn't see that.
No.
I'd assume that it would probably be the shittiest looking building in town.
Probably.
If that were the truth or not. But I totally thought that was cool. And actually I wanted to go because of a fellow by the name of Matt Orzak, who I have known since 4th grade. So that makes me about 10 years old or so. Mm-hmm. His son, Matt Orzak Jr., is the long snapper for the
no kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool.
He was actually with the Rams a couple seasons, and he has a Super Bowl ring with the Rams.
Very nice.
And this is his first year with the Packers. He's their long snapper. So it was kind of cool to go there and
Sounds like
see
fun.
the team practice and the whole.
It's funny because before you got here, I was saying how great Clay Matthews is at acapella.
Clay Matthews. Wait, wasn't he
Former Green Bay
Wasn't
Packer.
he in Pitch Perfect?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, let's get it right. Well,
Pitch Perfect 2. Pitch Perfect 2.
But there was a lot of members of the Packers.
There
though, in
was.
that. Wasn't
Clay
just
Matthews was the only one I noticed, though. So
Yeah.
my bad.
Gee, I wonder why. So who was that talking, by the way?
Well, I don't know. I was going to say, you know what? I'm just going to hand it off to you. Why don't you introduce the band?
It is White Rabbit Object.
You got it.
Very good.
Look at you go.
Object. There you go.
Proud of you.
And it's spelled, if you look, what is it? WHT period
RBBT.
RBBT.
OBJ.
OBJ.
Yeah.
Why?
So it really has. It's mostly to do with the fact that this started like this was going to be our secret.
Okay.
Because we both had like these identities in like the Chicago music scene.
Okay.
Because we were in our own bands.
Right.
And so the thought process was going to be
Secret band.
secret bands.
Let's be sneaky.
So the band name had to be secret. We are the Rabbits. We're Frank and River Rabbitte. And so, it became like, okay, so this White Rabbit Object was kind of like this secret code, right? And if you knew the code, then you knew who the band was potentially.
Right.
So that's kind of where it all started. Now there is this crossover.
I was going to say, that's not the first time that White Rabbit Object has been used in
That's true.
entertainment.
Really?
It absolutely is not. And if you Google the name, you get some pretty interesting websites that pop up.
Well, the one that we're referring to is when Newman I call him Newman. His name's not Newman. He's the guy in Jurassic Park. You know the guy.
Yeah, right.
Newman.
Newman. It's
Yeah,
Newman.
it's just Newman.
No,
Yeah.
it's Newman.
Exactly.
Yes.
You got it. He types in wht.rbbt.obj into the computer in Jurassic Park. And that's what lets all the dinosaurs out. That's what makes all the dinosaurs go crazy.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
We are really letting
So
the
there's
rabbit out of the bag here.
We are.
There's an interesting
You're in on
line.
it.
Samuel L. Jackson, who's like then the secondary computer guy, right?
Right.
He has this line where he goes, "You see this right here? This is the kicker. White rabbit object. Whatever that did, it did it all." So
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So now we know.
There's a little thought
yeah.
process.
Got a
to
white
that.
rabbit object history lesson.
So yeah,
and your
then, of
last
course,
your last name is Rabbit.
we're the
Rabbit.
rabbits, yes.
But not. Is it spelled like rabbit or
No,
is it,
No.
it's an old Scottish name. It's Rabbitte.
Okay. And it pronounced rabbit, not rabbit or
Well, we pronounce it rabbit. I don't know.
pronounce
That's
it
all
rabbit.
I've
Okay.
ever done. Yeah.
Okay. No, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
Very
cool.
interesting.
So obviously they are a married couple.
Yes.
Yes, they are a married couple.
For reals.
Right.
For realsies.
And they obviously did not abide by the taboo of not getting involved in musical adventures with your spouse.
I told him, I said, we are never playing music together. Ever.
So wait,
We're not doing it.
So
Well, actually, it was more unspoken. Really, we never really talked
No,
about it.
that is true. We never really said it out loud, but there was an unspoken rule that we were like, your thing is your thing. My
right.
thing is my thing.
so how long were you together? And I guess how long have you been together, and how long have you been married?
We've been together for almost 6.5 years. We've been
Yeah,
married for
2017.
5
Okay.
years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point in time did you decide? You know what, we're just going to do this?
It didn't take very long. We were
gonna say,
married.
how long are you going to do that?
Yeah, we were married September 2018, and I think it was January of 2019. I came home, and he was working on a song for another project, and
my old band.
For his old band, and in my opinion, he was playing the bass line wrong. So I was like, "What are you doing?"
I'm literally sitting. I've got GarageBand up on the Mac, and I'm laying down all the tracks so that the band can hear how the song's going to go.
Right.
I'm not a vocalist, but I'm laying down all the music, and I'm so that the band, it's just a roadmap, right?
Right.
It's the easiest way to bring it to a band is to give them an actual. This is what this song sounds like. If you got this complete idea, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm doing, and I'm laying down all the tracks, and I laid the guitar down, and I got the drum tracks are all in, and programmed, and then I start laying down the bass line, and she walks in, and from the other side of our loft in the city, I hear the door close. And then I hear her yell, "You're doing that bass riff wrong."
And he was like, "Here, didn't you freaking do it?"
I mean, I was like, number one, I wrote it, so how can it be wrong, right? Like this is coming from my imagination, and then I said, "Fine, okay." Number two, how would you do it? And I handed her the bass, and she goes, "This is what I would do," and I went, "Oh yeah, that's better." You're right.
Something tells me it wasn't that cordial, though.
No, it totally was.
No, it actually was. Yeah,
No, we don't. Yeah, no, we're pretty easy about it. And then so she's.
I think before you handed me the bass, I said, "Pour me a glass of wine, and then I'll show you
that might have been
how
yeah.
I'm gonna do this." And then much more wine ensued, and I was like, "Well, do you have lyrics?" And 2 weeks later, that song was on 101 KQX.
Was that,
Holy cow.
was that
Yeah.
your song or was it your previous band?
So no,
He wrote it.
So, but we did. So what happened was that we took that what I laid down as a roadmap, and we turned that into the song.
Okay.
And it became Unlucky 13. So she had River asked me if I had lyrics, and I said, well, I've got some of the lyrics, and I don't have a title for the song yet, but the song was about bad luck.
Okay.
Basically, that's what the song was about, and River added some lines, changed some lines. She goes, "Can I sing it?" And I said, "Sure. You want to give it a try?" And so we laid down the track, and then the next. So we then had the White Rabbit Object. So we had a song without a band name.
Right.
So then we needed a band name. So then we came up with the White Rabbit Object. And so,
Well, and you had been wanting to use that
I'd
for
been
a
wanting
while.
to use White
you
Rabbit
were
Object
waiting
for a
for the
while.
right
That is
moment
true.
to use that.
That is true. No,
So your band didn't get that song.
My band didn't get that song. That band doesn't exist anymore. So unfortunately,
What band was that?
so that was a band I was in for a long time called One Ping Only, and that was that was a lot of fun. We had a gas doing it. We did it for 8-9 years together. For 4 guys to hang out for that long in a band situation, that's pretty good.
Right. No, absolutely.
We were pretty happy with the longevity of it. And, but then when this thing started taking off, it was like, bye guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Of course.
And so this has been a lot more fun, actually. So this has been the most fun that I've ever had in music.
Right. And what was that song that you guys wrote that first time?
So that was a song that you can't find now.
Okay.
Probably can't find it anymore.
Okay.
It was a song called Unlucky 13. We still play it sometimes at gigs.
Yeah, we do.
And it ends up on the radio in a matter of weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty cool.
How did that happen?
I sent it to James Van Osdell on on KQX, and
then it was played.
And JVO said, "I love this. I'm going to play it."
Yeah.
And I
Right.
said,
And
"Okay."
we're sitting back laughing because half of the tracks in the song are just like garage band instruments that we
Yeah,
programmed, So, but it was good. It was fun. That was how the whole thing started. And since then we've written quite a bit more, as you guys know. Yeah. And we're very excited.
So yeah, it really was just, and then it started off with this whole idea that we were going to be like, oh, we're going to do a single every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And we did another one. We laid down a track called Silence, which you can actually find on like Spotify, because I have no control over that song whatsoever. I am no longer responsible for that song. A small label in the UK picked it up and they put it on a compilation album. And so then that was the next kind of like signal to us. It was kind of like, they were like, oh man, this is like stripped down Florence and the Machine. This is really cool. And I was like, okay. And so they have that song now. And, but that was, I think, the first clue kind of that was like, maybe there is something a little bit more here than just like a one-off single every once in a while when we feel like it. So.
Right. So before we get into all the music and the whole bit, let's back up just a second, because I went all over the website looking for stuff. Yeah. I got to say, you're unbelievably talented.
Me?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, thank you.
Playing guitar, play bass, play piano, sing, and the whole bit. You are.
Thank you very much.
When did the whole thing start for you? How old were you? Where were you? What was the first instrument? When did the whole thing start for you? Say, yeah, I want to do this.
I remember being quite young. Nobody in my family is musical, but I remember being like a little kid and just like I would walk around the house not whistling because I can't whistle actually, humming the like Andy Griffith theme song as a kid and just always feeling a pull to music. So I wanted to play the flute originally. Don't ask me why. I don't know.
Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
Well, I do love me some prog rock, and Jethro Tull is at the very top of my list.
Right.
No, but I grew up with parents who both consumed music, very different types of music, heavily. And so I started playing piano when I was 6. And then when I was taking lessons, I would sing as I would play, and my vocal teacher or my piano teacher would say that you should take voice lessons too, and just kind of,
Sure.
go with
Simultaneously do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I played Carnegie Hall when I was 8.
Wow.
So then that in my mind.
Is that all? I mean,
That's it. Sundance Film Festival when I got a little older. I played Cavern Club for International Beatles Week in Liverpool. This has been my life. I can't imagine I can't even pinpoint a specific moment for you when it like clicked for me that like music was going to be the thing that I did, because it's just always the thing that I did. And so it's always had this sort of resonance in my life, and it's always sort of like impacted everything else that I do. So it's kind of like my life force.
Have you always been in the Chicagoland area?
For most of my life.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Whereabouts?
Chicago proper.
Okay.
Up north.
Okay.
At some point in time. I wasn't born here.
Right.
In the States. But yes, moved here when I was about, I think I was 5.
Okay.
when I moved here.
Gee, so she moves here when she's 5, and by the time she's 8, she's playing Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, exactly. Mhm.
Yeah, that's it's
I was born here and never played there.
yeah.
It was very surreal too because like that was 3 months before 9/11 that I played there. And like as a kid seeing like New York for the first time
Right.
and realizing that this is this place where people, I mean, and I'm a kid that's about to go play Carnegie Hall and all of a sudden like the American dream is like a very real
Sure.
thing.
Absolutely.
And then this other thing happens months later and it's like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it, I think that experience of playing there made that whole, it just made it so much more surreal.
What was
for me.
what was the Carnegie Hall gig?
So I performed with a performing arts group that essentially you had to audition for, and there were 30 piano players and 4 vocalists, and I was one of the 4 vocalists that sang at this. It was all classical music. It was really beautiful. I will have to find a picture and send it to you guys
Wow,
because it's very wild.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
Obviously not something that you did by participating in your local elementary school music program. Obviously.
No,
Right.
no, I was in talent show every year though, for sure.
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, no.
Right.
I was like, can I dance and can I sing and can I play piano? I was one of those kids growing up. Like I was like, just let me show you what I got.
Right.
You really needed the keytar.
I did need a keytar. I still need a keytar.
I know somebody that has a keytar, and every time he shows up with it, everybody rolls their eyes and goes, "Oh my God, he's got a keytar!" And then he plays the keytar, and it was like, "Holy shit, he's got a keytar!"
Yeah, it's like, well, first of all, I don't have a keytar because they're very heavy. It's a super heavy instrument.
Yeah, they are.
So I would need to like go start weightlifting. I don't know how Herbie Hancock does it. Like
he's a big guy.
I saw him on stage. We saw him on stage in Atlanta a few years ago, and he gets his keytar, and he's older now.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
moving around on that stage. I'm like, you are in way better shape than me.
Well,
It's wild.
the young man that I'm thinking of that plays this unoccasionally. He's got the retro 1980s keytar where it's white and it's made of plastic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's shaped like partially triangular and the whole bit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it's what you think of when you think of the keytar, not just a keyboard hanging around your neck. So
Yeah.
it's actually a little bit lighter weight in the whole bit. But I could totally see you playing that. So
All right. Well,
so I mean, when did you come in the picture? It's
Top of the Christmas
not that
list.
Not that it even matters at this point because he
Yeah,
didn't play
no.
Carnegie
he
Hall.
didn't play
when he
No, I never
Hall,
played
so
Carnegie
it's
Hall.
fine.
Well, thanks for coming. Yeah, we're just going to talk to her now.
That's totally cool. I would.
You're
too.
all welcome
Trust
for
me.
being in my presence tonight. I'm so grateful for you all.
Right. Do you remember where you parked the car? Is that all we need?
I do. I do remember where I parked the car. I got
Chauffeur.
Chauffeur.
No, sir. No. So really, Frank, when did it all kind of start for you, and kind of take us down that journey?
So, it's interesting because we were in here looking at the Great Migration and stuff.
Yeah.
So I born in New Orleans, and my parents at a relatively like teenage years ended up coming up here to Chicago. We ended up relocating. So
Right.
but being down there, the blues music was just kind of everywhere, and my dad especially was very, very, very much into the blues.
Right.
So I think, that kind of got locked in my head. So a lot of other kids were listening to, I don't know, Eddie Van Halen and things like that. And I'm listening to Muddy Waters and B.B. King, and B.B. King's still my most favorite guitar player of all time.
Right.
So that was kind of like the introduction of where the music was coming from. And then when we got up to Chicago, I turned 13 years old, and my dad came home with a guitar, and I was like, okay, well, he goes, you want to play it? I don't know where it came from. I don't know what happened. It just showed up. And so I started taking lessons, and it was so funny back then because like, there's no YouTube. Like now oh my good Lord. You know how easy it'd be to learn guitar now?
Kids have no idea how easy it is.
They have no clue.
It's like you got a teacher right there in front of you whenever you want it.
Yep.
And they still complain about how difficult it is.
Yeah, no kidding. They want to start at the top and work their way sideways.
Right.
So I did the traditional thing. I had a guitar teacher and the whole process, and one of the first classes, I'll never forget one of the first classes. I go in and he goes, well, what kind of music are you into? And I'm like, well, I'm really into, Muddy Waters and B.B. King and the blues, but I'm really kind of curious about jazz. I'm kind of curious about being a jazz, getting into like some jazz guitar stuff. And I'll never forget the teacher. He's smoking, by the way, in a closed little room.
Right.
He's chain smoking. He's got a pile of dead cigarettes in the ashtray, and he's going to put another in the next 30 minutes. He's probably going to smoke a pack.
Right.
And he's just chain smoking. Right. And so he takes
my hero.
he takes the last draw of this cigarette. So after I make this comment about wanting to do, learn some jazz, he takes the last draw of his cigarette. He's putting it down in the ashtray, and he goes, "Jazz is for pussies." And I was like, that was it.
Wow.
I guess I'm not learning jazz then. Wow. So yeah. So
you're in New Orleans, and the guitar teacher says, jazz.
"Oh no, this was back here now in Chicago."
Here in Chicago.
We were back
okay, because I was going to say that's. Yeah. I think those are fighting words or punishable
those
words.
are absolutely fighting words.
Yeah.
So no, it was a lot of so for me it was so I had the guitar, and my parents were kind of like never really very pushy about it. There was kind of like well, either he'll play it or he won't. We don't really care. They're more interested in their son going on and getting all kinds of schooling and things like that. And so it was always this fight that was going on between, kind of like finding the time to do it. And so it really didn't, and then, I don't know, going through college and things like that, it was just mostly cover band BS, it was just kind of doing all of those things. And in one cover band, out of another one, in one cover band, out of another one. During that period of time, I learned how, I started playing some bass guitar, which is what I'm playing now in White Rabbit Object. I started learning some drums, and I played drums in a Weezer tribute band for a while, so I've been
It's
around
like
the block.
very specific.
Yeah. And what's funny now is how much I hate Weezer. I remember at the time loving Weezer, and now I'm like,
when we first got together, you were like, if you ever say you don't like Weezer.
I know, it was like a fighting
word.
words.
I don't like Weezer.
Now I
don't. Yeah.
But anyways,
I've worn off on you.
Yeah. So it was for me, it was more of a slow build, and I didn't start writing my own music until really, probably sometime in the last 10, 12 years, something like that. It was the first time I even thought about it. It was like, oh, I know, I'll write a song.
Right.
And that the first time though you perform your own song, even just in a practice situation, it feels like you gave birth. It is like the most incredible, beautiful feeling when it's like, and it's a piece of shit.
He's obviously never given birth.
I've never given birth.
I haven't either, but
okay, it's like
I've heard stories.
Seeing it. It's like seeing your kid for the first time.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe that's
fair.
what I mean. I don't know.
Okay.
But
Being on the
it's
reciprocal
beautiful.
end of the other person who's giving birth is what playing your song
It's
feels.
beautiful, is what I'm saying. It's a beautiful thing to have happen.
Well, I mean, I've seen the birth of both of my kids when they first came out. I was
It's not pretty.
Oh yeah, you want to run that under some water?
But quickly.
No, I totally get that though. But that's funny. We're gonna get all kinds of emails and stuff like that. That man has no idea what it's like to give birth.
Right.
I hope so.
Man, talk about
I would just like to speak on his behalf. He doesn't. I don't either, though. But we know what happens, and we know that people say
We've seen movies.
It's beautiful.
Well, maybe we'll start the Rock and Roll Chicago birthing podcast.
Podcast. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'll let you run
I'm your
that one.
doula.
Yeah.
River Rabbitte.
I'll let you do that. You can take care of that one for sure. Yeah. So you're both multi-instrumentalists. So when you go into the studio and you're recording all your songs, it's pretty much just the two of you guys doing it then, right?
No, we have a drummer now. We've got another a lead guitarist, but when Frank and I are in the studio, I mean, we really, after we lay the base of everything and we get that first draft done, that's really when he and I go into sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's sort of this like creative overdrive, or like I kind of feel like I'm like outside of my own body looking in on what's happening, and it kind of gives me the opportunity now that we've like laid that groundwork to be like, okay, well, there should be this backing vocal section here, or there should be this synth line here, or like for was it Love on Hold? He went back in after we had added the guitar and added a bunch more like little guitar things that just added to the way that the song came out. And so yeah, we're definitely both multi-instrumentalists in the studio, but we do have other people that we
Right. But are
play
you
with.
careful not to overproduce it so that you can
Yes.
can reproduce it when you're live?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would say that is.
Yeah, because we've done both. I mean, we've not been careful about it.
Yeah.
And we've been careful about it. I don't know that there's even necessarily a right or wrong answer about that, but because I mean, when you come to the show, you're going to get a raw performance.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not going to, you're not going to get the crazy.
I mean, we're
bells and
definitely not
whistles.
Steely Dan.
Yeah,
we're
we're
not, like they're like the best, in my mind, that's like the best studio band that exists ever. And they replicate it because they're able to like, well,
And they can
money,
they can hire 20 people for a
Yeah.
live
Right,
performance
exactly.
if they
Yeah.
like.
But I think at the end of the day, like I'm okay with some frills, but for the most part, I would say that the goal is not to be frilly.
Right.
The goal is authenticity and sort of artistic integrity. And I think that the more that we're able to replicate what we do in the studio on stage, the more those things align.
I have to ask because I've listened to most of the stuff that you guys have online. Are you recording digitally or are you guys recording using analog methods?
We've done both.
Have you?
Yeah. Most of the stuff that you're hearing now, though, it's digital.
Digital. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we use the EP that we're releasing now was all done at Sound Vault Studios in Chicago. It's all digital. We could have done analog, but I got to be brutally honest with you.
Tape's expensive.
Tape's expensive.
I know. I've done it before. Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
at the time it was like $300 a reel or something like that.
Yeah.
When this band
And not
first,
everybody is very good at using it.
So that was what I was going to say. We had this guy
Right.
approach us back when we were like with the first lineup of White Rabbit Object. None of those members are in the band anymore.
Right.
And this guy approached us about, I want to record you, want you to be on this like label I have. And we spent all day in the studio only for the analog tape to be completely destroyed.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just wasted my
Well, it's a complete art. I mean,
It is.
you
It
know,
absolutely
to
is.
splice things together.
So perfectly.
Do it manually. I mean, it's
You have to be a surgeon. Like
That's not being
yeah.
taught anymore. So
No.
you can't just put the machine into the hands of someone and say, here, make this perfect, because they're not going to.
Yeah.
Right.
They're absolutely not going to.
it also, like it's just like the simple things like with this current EP. Love on Hold is the perfect example because we got done with recording Love on Hold and it was just a little bit there wasn't quite enough there and musically. And so I had to go back into the studio, and now, it's me and the producer trying to figure out how we're going to, beef it up and where we're going to beef it up. And quite honestly, we did a lot of cut and pasting and taking other takes from other things that we did and dropping them in. And all of a sudden then it's like, oh, look at just that little bit of work we did, but we couldn't have done that with tape.
No.
It's the
Takes
fact that
forever.
we had 15 different takes of the guitars. So that allowed me to do a lot more, so.
And I would say that on the whole, I am quite. There's a mode of perfectionism that comes out for me when I'm recording.
Right.
And so if I don't love a take, and analog requires some level of like being dead on, or else you're running through reels of tape.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's,
Right.
You know,
Or you have to be
and-
okay with the mistake.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't like to put out things that I'm not fully 100% invested in, and just analog makes that really difficult for the perfectionist in me to feel good. So digital has just always been like better for us.
Right. Well, whoever did, I'll tell you, they did a great job of taking digital recordings and making it sound extremely analog, because it has that White Stripes or
Yeah.
Black Keys kind of a sound.
Shout out to Andrew at
to it.
Soundball Studio.
I mean, it really does. I mean, it has the mid range,
And Greg.
it has
And
like
Greg.
the
And Greg.
higher end mid range boosts, which almost simulate like the crackles in a vinyl
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
If you listen to it, which is great. I liked the warmth and the sound in the recordings and
Yeah.
everything, and just that the room reverb that just kind of like bounced off of everything. I mean, it sounded like a live performance, even though it was, I was listening to something recorded. That was great.
Thank you.
There's no rainbows in Indiana.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite.
There ain't no rainbows in Indiana. There ain't no tears left to cry. There ain't no rainbows in Indiana.
I like that one too.
So what's funny is that, true story. I mean, it is the true story that it really started with the fact that we were driving through Indiana. We were coming home, going back to Chicago, and a sun shower started. And she said, "Oh, honey, look for rainbows." And I said, "Baby, don't you know there's no rainbows in Indiana?"
Not even 2 minutes later, I'm on my phone. I'm like, that's a song. Yeah, and we wrote it, and it's weird because when we
wrote it, we kind of thought of it as like,
it was like an ode to Chicago sort of thing. It was not like, we didn't anticipate people enjoying it as much as they do. And now it's kind of because we played a show at the Cobra Lounge back in July, and the room was sold out, and hearing all of these people
300 people singing the song
Take Me Back Home after we're saying there ain't no rainbows in Indiana, it was like a very chilling moment. And the fact that that sense of place resonated with so many people, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Right. No, I totally get that. I mean, living so close to the Indiana border, he's actually closer to it than I am. We can identify with that. Yep. We really can. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I've taken the lonely drive from here to Indianapolis or even further into Kentucky and the whole bit, which can be a boring drive.
It's horrific.
And it always rains.
Lots of windmills.
The windmills. Coming as you go through Purdue, by Purdue there. Yeah.
Well, all this music talk has got me jonesing to hear for some of your stuff. You want to play something for us?
Yeah.
Well, let's
do it.
Well, we'll be right back.
We're going to take a break.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
I'm Christy from Crime Cave Podcast. I've had a huge interest in true crime since my days of watching marathons of Snapped back in the mid-90s. I needed an outlet to talk about the cases that have haunted me for a very long time. With each episode under 20 minutes, I shine a light on some of the most bizarre cases in the last 50 years. Join me in the Crime Cave.
Hi, I'm Rick Anthony. I'd like to thank my radio brothers, Ray the Roadie and Hollywood Mike, for allowing me to tell you about my podcast, the Someone You Should Know podcast. We spotlight musicians, authors, and interesting people, and we like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. The podcast is heard twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and you can check it out on your favorite streaming platforms and on the web at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast.com. That's the Someone You Should Know podcast with me, Rick Anthony, making a difference one artist at a time.
Alrighty, we're back, and here we go. This is something new. We have never had this instrument in our studio before.
I don't know anybody that plays the didgeridoo.
I don't know. Yeah, me neither.
Good, sir.
That's so funny.
So hit it, River.
This is a song from our upcoming EP. It's called Keep You Like a Secret. It actually features a very good friend of mine on the Hammond B3, Scott May from the Ides of March. He's featured on this record. So we're gonna play a stripped down version of that for you guys.
Alrighty.
Dripping off a moonbeam. You don't know what you done to me. It never gets old. Swimming in ecstasy. The feeling that you get to me. I cannot do with it, I'm feeling much justified when you're in between it. Or to hold on to the law. Oh, I'm falling for you. I wanna keep you like a secret. Wanna taste you like a sin. Wanna hold you like a lover. Again, again, again. Wanna love you like a tidal wave. Lay your concussion. Wanna hold you like a lover. Again, again, again. 'Cause
his life. He had a little sunrise. The devil wouldn't know his best disguise. And it's a crime, the way that you stay on my mind. My head is working overtime for you. No, my body cannot do it. I'm feeling burst to find when I'm in between it. Or a high, no telling a lie. Oh, I'm falling for you. I wanna keep you like a secret. Wanna taste you like a sin. Wanna hold you like a lover. Again, again, again. Wanna love you like a tidal wave. They all come crashing. Wanna hold you like a lover. Again, again, again. Wanna keep you like a secret. Wanna taste you like a sin. Wanna hurt you like a lover. Again, again, again. Wanna love you like a tidal wave. They all come crashing. Wanna hold you like a lover. Again, again, again. Again, again, again. Again, again, again.
I am so glad you played that song because that was the second song that I listened to when I was looking for you guys on the internet, and that's my second favorite one.
Yay! I'm so glad.
It really
I'm
is.
so glad.
I was sitting here the whole time after we were talking about No Rainbows in Indiana, and I was thinking, gosh, what was that second one? I can't remember the name of the second one, and that was it. That was the one. That was fantastic.
That was excellent.
I absolutely love that song.
I'd go to Carnegie Hall to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I know. I realized, like, as I started playing, I was like, I set my keyboard up a little bit too high, and now I don't know what I'm doing. But it's fine. I'm glad you guys love the song. That's super, super cool. Yeah, that one is one that I held on to for a while. I was not anticipating giving it to this band. Right. I come from like a neo soul jazz background, and I for me it was like playing in a rock and roll band was something that was very foreign to me, and so I was like, oh well, this sounds and feels like me again. Right. And then White Rabbit Object still got a hold of it. And, right. Then we turned it into something in the middle of what I wanted it to be, and bringing Scott from the Ides of March and Scott Mayan, that really helped for me to feel really, really good about the song, because he and I have this we run in similar crowds in terms of the music that we love. So having him do his part on this record helped me feel really good about the final product at the end of the day.
Right. And he's definitely a friend of the museum too. By the way. I don't know if you've talked to him about it.
No, I haven't. I forgot to mention him that we were doing this.
Well, just the whole Jim Peterick organization.
I'm sure.
Been involved,
I'm sure. That's awesome.
Several things. Yeah, absolutely.
No, they're all really good people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, looking on the internet and just reading the comments.
Can I interrupt you just for a minute here?
Yeah, go right ahead.
This just in.
Sure.
For anybody that's interested, Scott May is episode 53 of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Oh, no kidding.
You better listen.
Wow, no kidding.
Go on.
That's great.
Back to Mike.
I forgot what I was saying now.
Take it away.
I'm old.
I'm not.
Yeah. I know when you were saying that you were 8 years old and then 9/11 happened, I was sitting here doing the math in my head and thinking, geez, I was a father when she was playing at Carnegie Hall.
I didn't know you were a priest.
Well,
wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but what was I saying now? You interrupted me.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, so, I was just reading comments from people, they go on and put little blurbs. Oh, it's great. You guys sound like this and you sound like that. And I heard Amy Winehouse a lot. And, I'm going to be, I'm just going to say it. You know what? I was never a fan of hers.
Yeah.
I wasn't. And you don't sound like Amy Winehouse to me. When
That's refreshing because I feel like I get it so much. That
I'll tell you what I like that song right there. When I first heard it for the first time, I was thinking Alicia Keys.
Oh wow!
And then
Thank you.
And then some of your other stuff that I listened to, I was thinking Alabama Shakes, and I love the Alabama Shakes. Love the Alabama Shakes.
They're amazing.
Brittany Howard.
Brittany
Oh, my
is
Lord.
just. She is fantastic.
She's amazing.
Oh,
You thought I had
awesome.
a big ego when I walked in here. Wait until I walk out now, sir.
Oh, great. I'm not going to be able to get her head in the car.
No, and the thing with the Amy, I love Amy Winehouse. My brother and I, we both, whenever like I would sing in the house, and I'd sing Amy songs, he's like, it feels like she's here, and it's like, it's cute though. I think I understand where people get that from, especially with some of my older stuff. Like I can definitely hear where people get it, but I never want to feel like I'm being pigeonholed into sounding like one specific person. I think it's cool, like how JVO said it's like the Black Keys and meets Amy Winehouse and challenges them to a game of strip poker. Like that I can get on board with, because it's not like you sound like this person.
Right.
Like my goal at the end of the day is to bring something new to the table.
Right.
And sort of be this sort of cross genre new thing that's happening. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Well, and I think my adversity to Amy Winehouse began not because of Amy herself.
Sure.
But because every up and coming female singer all of a sudden wanted to sound like Amy Winehouse.
And it's a very specific style of like not pronouncing your words all the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can tell when someone's being genuine and that's the way they sing and that's the way they've always sang.
Yeah.
Or I can tell when somebody is just getting up there and you can tell that they're focusing on mispronouncing the words.
Yeah.
Because they want to sound like Amy Winehouse. They
There's
want to
this
be an Amy Winehouse impersonator.
And it's weird because like sometimes I don't pronounce my words. That's just something that before I knew who Amy Winehouse was, like that was something but I've really worked on, because the things that I have to say are important. I think my songs have important messages in them, and I want to pronounce my words clearly so that people can hear what I'm saying. But there is also that sort of like guttural, like contralto thing. And I think that people aren't used to hearing women that have contralto voices, because there's not a ton. And I do have that, to keep you like secret is not a good example of my contralto singing. But I think that people are just like, they're like, oh, well, that person is this, so you're this too.
Right.
And yeah, I'm not. So.
But I think if someone is doing it naturally.
Yeah.
And I find myself doing it on occasion as well. But, I think it comes out of the fact that, okay, I'm trying to relax my jaw. I'm trying to relax all the muscles in my mouth and in my neck and the whole bit. And sometimes you just let the words fall off because it's like, all right, it's going to come out better, even though, and then it adds to the story. Sometimes you don't need to hear the words precisely. Sometimes you need to hear it, where it's just kind of like, I don't know.
There were a
maybe
few
you've
times.
had a few too many.
Yeah. No, there were a few times in the studio where both Frank and our producer, our sound engineer, were like, can you say that word again? Okay.
Well, you'll have to play it back to me because I don't know how I did it.
I'm like, I don't know what I did. But because in my brain, it doesn't sound like that.
Right, right.
It's just, and my speaking voice is like naturally lower than, so like, again, like things get sort of lost in the ether. But yeah, no, I think it's really important to, stay. It's like the one piece of advice that I would give to like aspiring artists. Don't base the sound that you're aspiring to be on anybody else but you. I mean, it's okay to like people and to think other people write amazing music, but to sort of like idolize people and put your creative processes like in this like one like tiny path. Right. I don't think that's I don't think that's emotionally healthy, because like you're not that person.
Right.
And B, it's not good for you creatively, because like the goal is to add something new to this incredible art. And if you're just replicating and
we don't need 1,000. We don't need 1,000 Amy Winehouse.
But I would like to. I do want to thank Frank for running out and getting dinner during that song.
Yeah, that was
and
great.
I had the patty melt. If you could pass it over here.
You know, I cut it down too. Yeah, I know the song is long. I did cut out a part of it.
Okay.
But I hope
we-
your patty melt was good.
When we play it live, it's
like 6 minutes
It's over 6 minutes. The recording I think came in at 5:20.
Yeah.
We brought it in at
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Because I go off on tangents.
No,
if
I
the
agree.
crowd's
Yeah,
into
it's-
it, I'll go off on a tangent. If they're not into it, that's
and
fine.
plus we're blessed with an amazingly especially live shredding guitarist. So
the
it's-
ladies love to watch him shred.
Yeah, Doc,
great.
when we were at Cobra Lounge, they were like going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
it was
funny,
amazing.
Like all these little girls, like
You do that too well, Frank.
Yeah, that was-
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, I've been practicing.
that's
a
what
lot.
he does when I get out of the shower. Too,
Oh my
so.
god! So I do. True.
wow.
True.
TMI.
Nothing but truth bombs going
Yeah,
on here.
truth bombs.
I think that's your next song. What he does when I get out of the shower.
Yeah.
And he does when I get out of the shower. I didn't tell you all the things, so
Yeah.
just be grateful I gave you a little.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
great. That's
So you
great.
got one more song inside of that thing?
Oh, maybe we can do that.
Yeah, we
do
definitely
one?
need to hear another one.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
Alright.
another one.
Cool. Yeah, we can do that. That's cool.
Yeah, tell us about this one.
I don't know what I'm gonna play yet.
Oh, is that what it's called? I don't know what I'm going to play
Yeah.
yet. That's a
Interesting.
great
Sounds
title.
good. That
Yeah.
sounds
Very good title.
You could go anywhere with that.
All right, let me figure it out. Let's think. Are we allowed to pause here?
We can pause.
tell
Can
you
we
what.
pause?
You
I'll
want to
tell you
do?
what.
You could do "Born in a Bad Way." It's releasing Friday.
I'll tell you what. You think about it for a second.
Yeah, let me
because
think.
You think about it for a second
Want it
because
to be a good
there
one.
is something else that I wanted to ask you about too. So tell me about Whiskey Hotel Tango. Is that it? Did I get it right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whiskey Hotel Tango.
Could be.
So this is like a serial release album or something like that. From what
So
I
yeah,
understand.
we're doing 3 parts.
Okay.
It's Whiskey Hotel Tango, and then if you're up on your NATO communication secret codes, you pretty much figure out what probably the other 2 titles are for the next two albums: Romeo Bravo Bravo Tango and Oscar Bravo Juliet will be the 3.
Okay.
And it's just following the letters of the band.
Sure. Of course. And is it 3 full albums? Is it what 3 to 5?
It's gonna be 4 to 5 songs on each one. This one's got
Okay.
5 songs. The next one, we're gonna try to get these all out by the end of 2024. It should be all
That's
released.
the goal.
The next album, the next 4 songs are definitely, I would say, more rock and roll. It's definitely going to go more
Yeah.
like a little bit heavier, more garage, more psychedelic. And then the last one I'm hoping for is going to be more. It's going to be more soft, and River able to express more of herself in the last ones.
We'll see about that.
But we're really thrilled. We've got some new songs that we wrote. That every time we play them, we're like, "Oh my god, did we write that? Really? That was us that came up with that idea? Holy
Yeah.
cow!" So, and it's been great. You know, it's a lot of fun too because when me and River are sitting at home, like all of a sudden, I could just be off and like I'll get some ideas for a song, and generally speaking, what happens is I get some music, and then I start writing lyrics. And then River goes, okay, I'll take it from here.
Yeah.
And I turn it over to the captain of the ship, and she then comes back. And every single time, I mean, I'm not too proud to say that she is a much better lyricist than I am. And sometimes
I don't know about that.
I channel some things sometimes. Like Once More Down the Rabbit Hole was great, but for the most part, it's like she definitely. She sees where I'm going, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, blah, 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 and it comes out in 10 minutes.
I just have a bigger vocabulary.
Yo, that's true. Yeah. It's that medieval literature background.
You go get dinner again. I'll have this done when you get back.
All right. I hope I remember how this goes. Let's see here. Give me a second to figure this out.
That's okay. We got a guy that does the editing. He can cut all this stuff out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
His name's Paulie. Hi, Paulie. You might want to cut this stuff out.
All right. Let's see if I can remember how this goes. So we're cutting this out. I can cut this part out.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like, rough in the studio. We might leave it in. You won't know until it comes out.
Fine. Where does it go after that? Okay. I think we're fine. We'll try anyway. So this is an older song, but it's new to the band that we're starting to play out, that I wrote back in 2017, and it's just getting its legs now, called Born in a Bad Way. It's kind of a bluesier thing. Comes out this Friday? Oh my God, I haven't even been talking about it. Okay, cool. Well, I need to do more work.
Push your microphone a little bit.
Away?
Away. Yep,
Away? Are we good like there?
There we go.
Good,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Let's give it a try. I'm going to turn this down just a tad.
It's a cold day in the autumn before the dawn ain't barely bright. From the hollow cave I crumbled, and from silence I woke. They served an party time to try and ease the pain. Oh, I've been born in a bed. This place is a little darker than I imagined it could be, and how it just released me from that light of carnal greed. It's all gone to the help me, yeah, I could away the pain. Oh, baby, I've been born in a bed. Arms where they've been taken by two children and the wife, but the broken man inside you still cuts me like a knife. So let it all be so lately, yeah, I need that with the play. Oh, baby, I've been born in a bad way. One day I'll leave this world the same way that I came. Back to the hollow cave I'll go with all my dying shame. Hey, drink it to kill me. Yeah, I need that with the play. Oh, baby, I've been born in a bad way. I've been born in a bad way.
That's how the song goes.
Awesome. Wow.
If
Very
you play
nice.
it on the keys, which I normally don't. So,
Oh, wow.
cool,
Okay.
fun times.
Okay.
We transposed it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's great. So I know you guys have some shows coming up.
Yeah, quite a
I think
few.
you have something like on October 27th, I think, coming
So
up.
we got this.
We got this Saturday,
This Saturday.
at Lagunitas.
Okay.
We've got the 27th.
in Madison,
In Madison, Wisconsin. Yes.
doing a
I've
Halloween
seen that.
show, costumes.
Wow.
I'll let you guess what I'm going as.
You'll let me guess what you're
Yeah,
going
what do you
as.
think I'm going as?
Frank.
That'd be a good one though.
No.
I wouldn't have the foggiest idea.
I've already used this costume. I'm going as a Playboy bunny or White Rabbit object.
Oh, okay.
right.
There you
See?
go. Yeah. Yeah.
You went as Hugh last time. I
did.
can't let this costume go to waste.
It's too good.
It's really
too
good.
Yeah.
You could not go as Hugh again.
No, I'm not going to. I
Okay,
don't know what
cool.
I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
But,
find something.
Then we've got Sound Growler,
yeah.
which is Primal Moon. You guys have Primal Moon in here.
Right.
They're doing their album release show.
Yeah.
We're playing a show with them at Sound Growler in Tinley Park.
Yep. Yep.
Then we're headed up to Grand Rapids. We're going to be doing a show, not a show. It's sort of an intimate show meets videotaping of a couple of our tracks at Elevator A Go-Go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're
Kevin Matthews.
Yeah, Kevin Matthews. We're excited to
Oh,
work
no
with
kidding.
him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they kind of just keep trickling in, and
And then December 2nd, we're at Reggie's again. And
I
then,
love playing Reggie's.
And then we're gonna take a little bit of a recording hiatus. Hopefully, get some work done in the studio, and then we're not back until probably the end of January.
Come back swinging.
Right.
So where can people find you?
I was going to say, you got to tell them because it wasn't easy. I'll tell you. No,
Okay.
it wasn't. Yeah.
No, I believe you. We're everywhere. If you type in wht.rbbt.obj, pretty much all of our socials will come up. If you do those letters without the dots, just wht.rbbt.obj.com.
That's our website.
Settled.
Okay.
Okay.
Type the name in on Spotify, it'll come right up. I mean, we're all over socials.
I went to your Facebook page, and there's a different website, a different link on your Facebook page. It was like something tree or
For the link
Oh,
tree.
the link tree.
that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So-
that just links everybody to
if you-
all of our different socials.
Right.
Right. And
And you can
took
find
us-
our Bandcamp there and everything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
we did a band camp. It's kind of a great
Yeah.
background in the whole bit.
Yeah.
And a place where we can buy hats like yours. I saw
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
I have a hat collection, so I
do you
I
really?
went right to it. Yeah.
He's also got a hat collection.
Yeah, I've got a hat problem.
Yeah,
me
you do
too.
have a hat problem.
Yeah.
Specifically, these Goran hats are just like, I can't stop.
Yeah.
They send them to me now too, and I'm just like, okay.
He's like a micro influencer. It's so strange.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I've got fedoras and Western hats and stuff like that. That's So
I liked the one you
Gorham
rolled
Brothers.
in.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I got a few Gorham Brothers hats, but I've got the fedoras and
yeah.
stuff.
I wear a lot of. I like their pork pies.
Yeah. Those
I
are
have
nice.
one Goran. It's the Dean the Butcher.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
love
yeah,
that
that's
hat.
a great
I
hat.
love that hat.
That is a great hat.
I
Yeah.
bought that hat when Goran still had a storefront in Nashville.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'd
yeah.
never been, and I was like, treat yourself.
Yeah,
and
right.
I bought myself the Dean the Butcher hat, and I love that hat.
Yeah. Excellent. That's awesome. Fantastic. Man.
Well, thanks for coming out, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
thanks for
you so
having
much
us.
for having us. This was fun.
Had a
a
blast
real
with you
treat.
guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, we can get out and see. I may check you out at that Sound Growler.
You should.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
close.
Buy
to
you a
us.
beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll buy you. I'll buy you a
definitely.
beer.
Hey, if you're gonna be there, I'll just put you on the list.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you know. When is it? What's the date on that one?
November 10th.
November 10th. All right.
You're on a list. You're going to get a beer. It's going to be a hoot and a holler.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
A hoot and a holler.
Yeah,
and a holler.
you heard it. You heard it here first.
So we're having Hooters and beer, I guess.
Yes.
That's right. That's it. And then they're going to yell at you.
All righty,
We
guys.
didn't, we
Thanks.
didn't say the Frank Zappa title to that, so it's fine.
All right.
All righty. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it.
What are they called again?
Oh, the White Rabbit Object.
White Rabbit Object.
Not
Yeah.
the objective or anything.
Not the objective. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Not the wit ribbit.
No, not at all.
What,
But
what ribbit objective or something? No, they're the White Rabbit Object. I got to tell you, it's not very often that I get excited about hearing a new band and want to see them succeed and do well and want to go out and see them and want to hear what their next, album is going to be.
Yep.
I'm excited about these
Yeah,
guys.
so am I. So am I.
I can't contain it.
I like what they're doing. You
Yeah.
know how they're going to put out 3 EPs and they're naming them.
Right.
Yeah. They've already got. They know what they're doing.
Right.
It's not just willy nilly. We're going to throw some songs together, put an EP. Let's go. They've actually thought this through.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I love the sound. I mean, I love the sound. You have to listen to them. Hearing her play in the studio was great.
Yep.
But to hear those songs the way they're interpreted and recorded with a vintage sound
Yep.
that they have.
Exactly.
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 In a digital age, analog becomes the new Renaissance.
That's right. And I don't think we've ever had a Carnegie Hall performer here in our studio.
Not you or I, that's for sure.
Right. Maybe one has graced the museum, walk through, but
Right.
not with us. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Very talented couple there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely get out and see them. For you Southside people, they're going to be at Sound Growler November 10th, they said. So
November 10th, yeah.
Yeah, so make a point to get out there. I just might go there.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm on the list. I don't know if you heard that or not.
You are on the list?
I'm on the list, yeah.
So you get a hoot and a free holler.
I do. Hoot and holler. Hoot. No nanny, though. No hoot nanny.
No hoot nanny.
No. But, okay, everybody, as always, thank you for listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. And tune in next Tuesday for another exciting episode. See you then.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Rock and roll, Chicago.